Hello, everyone. Good evening. For some of y'all, I know I have a global audience, so good morning. Or if you're catching the replay, just hello. How are you? I'm Carlisha Bradley, founder and CEO of Amplify for Women. I'm a high performance women's leadership coach who supports women on their journey to and through the C suite. And I have been in this series called Stepping into the Spotlight. And so this is the final week of the series. And in the last week, I noticed that a lot of my ladies were catching the replay. You were catching the replay in the evenings, probably much like me after you put little ones to bed or after you have finally wound down from your work day. So I decided that for this last week, I'm staying up past my bedtime for you because when I put the twins down, when me and my husband get them in the bed at 7:30, guess who is right behind them? That is me. That is exactly why I wake up in the mornings at 4 o'clock, why I can just grind it out early AM. It's because I'm getting my sleep. So please know that this week I'm staying up late for you. I'm staying up past my bedtime and I look forward to you all joining me. So if you are popping on right now, drop in the comments for me where you are joining from. Say hello. Hi, Mother of Jewels. Hello, Marie. I see you all joining, and I'm trying to keep my eyes on both Instagram and LinkedIn tonight since I am streaming in both places. But just want to say welcome to everybody. As I told you all who have seen these videos before, I like to keep these bite sized. So that means I am not going to be before you long. These are at most 15-minute powerful videos to support you on your leadership development journey. And today we're touching on one of my favorite topics. I have been having calls literally every single day with women who have applied for the Elevate Cohort. And as I've been talking to you all, learning more about the challenges you face, the dreams you have, your goals, and your aspirations for this upcoming year, I wanted to come back to this topic because it is critical when you're sitting in this space. A lot of you all are choosing to give up too soon on what is possible. And today we're talking about something that is very simple in hindsight. But when you are in it, you don't know this because you don't know what you don't know. But today we're talking about what got you here. It's not going to be what gets you to that next level. It's just not the same things that got you here. For many of us, we are individuals who are hard workers. We will work 10 times as hard. You are given the responsibilities because you are the doer. You're the person who's going to just get it done. You keep your head down, you do what's required of you. And quite frankly, you actually do way more than that, but you knock it out of the park and you're consistently given responsibilities. And when it's time for you to rise to leadership, when you're used to being an individual contributor, when you're used to being able to handle things yourself, when it's time for you to influence teams and to lead for change, that's when a lot of us fall short. It's when we stand in these situations and positions that we've dreamed of being promoted to, and we feel like, am I enough? I know that I found myself in that position. I rose to executive leadership very early in my career. And I wanted this job more than anything, y'all. Like, I've never prepared for an interview process or prayed harder about a position than this one. I knew it was for me. But I didn't realize when I got in it that there was just so much that I didn't know. I didn't know that me doing the head down work and me staying late and coming in early, while that can get some things done, the crux of your work as you're beginning to elevate your executive presence, as you're beginning to lead for change, is all about influence. And in the earlier part of the series, I talked to you all about what executive presence really is and what it isn't. So, to catch some of you up who are just coming along on this journey with us, executive presence is not respectability politics. It is not a marginalized group of people trying to dress or assimilate or talk or be like the majority. That's not what it is. It's not about code switching. What executive presence really is, it starts at this fundamental key of your character. It's these 4 C's: The first at the bottom of that is character. It's understanding your values. It is understanding what you stand for, what you believe in. The second C of that, again, these are the internal things of our executive presence. The second C of that is confidence. It's the way that you show up, it's the way that you present yourself. It is the way that you're able to communicate those values that you have internally that makes people want to follow you, which leads us into the third C, which is communication. How are you articulating the value that not only you bring to the table, but also the why behind what you do? Which lastly leads us into connection. So if you are someone who is like me, you're used to knocking everything out, you're doing it yourself, you are getting it done on your own. This fourth C is the highest form of influence in this next chapter of your life. In your next chapter of your leadership, it is required of you to connect with individuals on your team, to connect with stakeholders that you're presenting to be able to lead for influence and change within the organizations and the causes that you're leading for. And so when we think about starting on our executive leadership journey, or you got the position, or you're trying to work your way up in the organization, a lot of us are still married to this concept of, well, I worked hard to get here. And what works for me to get here is what is going to work for me to be successful here. And I have met far too many women that when you hit that roadblock, you're sitting there wondering, like, was I the right person for the job? Did I really have what it took? Do I need to go back and do another degree, another certification? Like, am I the right person? You end up in this season of doubt, of insecurity, of worry, of anxiety, of feeling like an imposter in a position that you are the right person for. You are just not in the space yet to move into how you elevate your executive presence. And as I talk to you all about these four C's, there's really even more than that in the space. Hey, Talia, I see you just joined. Thanks for joining, sis. I talk about more than just these four C's. There's more to this when we're scaffolding and we're pulling back these layers of why that transition sometimes is really hard, why that doubt is even louder than ever before. It's because the first key, as you're making these transitions and as you're growing in leadership and as you're moving from being the person who's great at the technical skills, and now you've got to get into adaptive leadership, which means there isn't a playbook. You are navigating situations and personalities and people that you are having to lead. When you're moving from that level, you first have to master your mindset. You've got to challenge those limiting beliefs and the stories that you are telling yourself about why you don't belong in the spaces that you absolutely do belong in. The second part of this, and I utilize an MVP framework, is that you have to master your message. When we talked about executive presence and at the bottom was character, does your team, do the individuals you're working with, do they know what you stand for? Do they know who you are? Are they able to connect with you? We spend a lot of time in the Elevate cohort in building these signature stories. How are you mastering your message of what you value and what you stand for? And then we get into the V. The V is to voice your value. It's not that you don't have what it takes at this next level. Sometimes a lot of your work is building credibility in your new position. And no one is going to talk about the work that you have done or the ways in which you lead to be able to tell that story better than you. And I meet far too many women who are shying away from the story and from voicing their value and owning that narrative. And the final P in the MVP framework is to present with power, walking in spaces with confidence, whether you were speaking in the boardroom or whether you are speaking in a conversation on a stage or not, one on one. It is being able to present with power, clarity, and conviction about who you are, rooted in your values, rooted in what you value and believe in as a leader. That is what builds this space of connection. So I wanted to even just pause in this tonight and say, like, no, sis, you are the person for the job. Your ideas, the ways in which you see the world, your lived experiences, your authenticity, we need it. We need for you to show up in the fullness of your identity. We need for you to show up and not continue to doubt and sit there debilitated in fear and anxiety about who others think that you are and what others think that you know. But there's so many pieces to this game, and it's it and some facets for a lot of us, it feels like a game. It feels like the game is rigged. Like I did everything it took to get here. Why is no one giving me the cheat codes? And that is exactly why the Elevate cohort exists. It exists to provide training and development for women who are looking to accelerate their career journeys, serving at the intersection of public speaking, personal branding, and transformational leadership. This is for women who are either in positions or where you are ready to enter into positions where you're stepping into the spotlight. You're presenting, you're talking, you're sharing your story. You want to lead teams with conviction. You want to leave a legacy and an impact. This is for women who are saying, like, I'm tired of the theory and the books. I'm tired of looking at somebody else's blueprint and trying to figure out how do I make this apply to my life. I'm ready for tools that are tangible that I can begin to implement immediately that cater to my own story. If that is you, the Elevate cohort is the perfect space for you. I am so excited about the community of women that we have built and are continuing to build. The women who are applying, the women that I've been talking to throughout these past couple of weeks. I am so touched and honored that you are sharing your journey with me, that you are trusting me to lead and guide you on your path towards this next level of your leadership and identifying your own voice and magnifying your message and voicing your value and presenting with power. The Elevate cohort is the right space for you. Applications are closing soon. And I've even opened up some more time slots because a lot of you did reach out and you said, okay, the calendar is full. Can you put some more time on here so that we can get a chance to connect? And I want to tell you the reason why I connect with you. The reason why I connect via phone after you apply is because this cohort isn't for everybody. And I also take a lot of pride and integrity in the fact that I am not looking just to take people's money. I am looking to serve, to support, to connect with mission driven women and aligning them towards a path towards the highest potential of their leadership. This isn't for everybody. I am not the coach for everyone. But for those women that I am, I'm very intentional about curating a community where you can grow and thrive with other women who are just as ambitious and driven and can support you on your path. So if this is you, you can do a couple things. You can shoot me a DM or you can visit the link in my bio or the link in this video to learn more about the Elevate cohort and to go over there and to apply. So, tomorrow I'm going to be back. I am going to be talking about one of my clients' journeys, giving you tips and pointers from her pathway from entry level all the way to executive, what happened in her life, how things transformed, and what light bulbs came on for her as she began to elevate her voice and her executive presence. So I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks so much for joining tonight.